About 2.5 days ago, MoveOn.org sends me an email. I'm on their list saying we're having vigils to support Cindy Sheehan, who's one of many parents who've lost children in Iraq, grown children, of course. Her son Casey died in Iraq, and she's been camped out, as the world knows by now, at the Texas White House, trying simply to ask President Bush to his face why. She's been stymied in that effort, but joined by many, many other people. And, you know, out of small acts like that, sometimes movements are born. And I thought, oh, that's cool, I'll go to a vigil.
Well, I'm here with Tina McKenna and my friends at the Lawndale Democratic Club. And we just met and we talked a little bit about the war in Iraq. And we're convinced that if we all work together, we can help bring our troops home. We know that a lot of people out there are concerned. The polls show it. Over 50% of the American people don't think that this war has been handled right, and they really now want the troops home. So what we do is encourage people to speak up. By standing out with our candles, we let them know there are others who think just like them, and we're encouraging them to join together to make our voices heard so that we can help stop this war. I think instead of sitting home and moping about it or being upset about it, join with someone who's thinking like you. Join with the Democratic Club. Read the papers. Find out about the groups that are organizing. This kind of activity is going on all over the country. The first thing we must do is every time we speak, we must start our conversation with, we love our soldiers. We care about them. We want them safe, and we want them home. Let that be known before you say or do anything. Then secondly, write letters to them. There are any number of operations where you can write letters, you can send packages. Some of our VFW groups are packaging items to send out every month or so. Get active, do something. Show them you care. Meet them with the USO at the airport when they return. Write a letter. There are a lot of things that we can do.
Excellent.
I'm a typical politically aware but not very active usually person, like a lot of people, busy with time and working for a living, etc. And I decided to get active once again during the presidential election last year. Did take a few bus trips to Vegas, was amazed at the energy and time that other people put into it, including Tina McKenna, who's the president of our newly founded Lawndale Democratic Club, of which I am one of the founding members. Signed up for MoveOn.org, which is this fabulous umbrella online organization that keeps people informed. Was also spawned, I think, out of the presidential election, if I'm not mistaken. And I had attended 2 other events that they'd put on. They're kind of these short notice, hey, here's the cause, let's go stand on street corners and have a vigil or a rally. The last one I went to was a Save the Filibuster rally in Long Beach. I could not make the downtown courthouse, so I went to Long Beach, and it was an amazing event. You know, in 2 days they had 100-some people there, and we stood there on Ocean Boulevard and informed some people. And if one person called the senator, I think it was worth our hour-and-a-half of time there. And MoveOn.org makes it unbelievably simple. You log on, you give them your information. They provide you with a press kit if you need one. It was amazing to see something come together so quickly. We have a neighboring event that had 300 people in beautiful downtown Hermosa Beach, where there's very active Democratic clubs. And we here in Lawndale went from 2 or 4 people to 135 or 139 registered participants by the time I left to come down here today. That was in 2 calendar days.
Coffee cups and water glasses and piles of milk until the car streets behind us showing through. Robin, you live. In the middle of the park, big grassy area were the 2 grandmothers, Irma Bean, Madeline Civet, Leslie Plunkett, Mrs. Riley, and 106 other women standing not still. At 11:37 a.m., said Murphy fell unmoved. And if it did, we have armed for that and elected officials. Here, besides, they're not even carrying banners or shouting slogans and making those. Everyone knows you can't save the world without banners. The men nodded to the side. Well, that's that.
highly recommend people, when you can, be involved in the way that you can. It did not take a lot of effort. It took a few dollars. I bought some candles, some cups, I made some signs, I used up an inkjet cartridge. You know, it just wasn't that hard to put together. I roped in a couple of friends to help me out, and basically people just show up, and it's the solidarity. There's something very beautiful, I think, about there not having to be a lot of planning, that it's just about coming together. Something that you were talking about earlier, I realize that it's a very symbolic act, and a lot of people will often sort of poo-poo that kind of thing or dismiss it and say, well, you know, it doesn't change anything, it's just a symbolic act. And Cindy Sheehan's been getting a lot of wrath from the far right and being kind of pilloried as much by them as she's being supported by people who are more on her side of things. And my thought was today, and I was thinking about doing this and got very excited about it, and I thought about Rosa Parks, who just didn't want to get up and move to the back of the bus. She wasn't planning any big national movement. She wasn't planning to change the world. All she didn't want to do is get up and have to go sit somewhere else because of who she was. And that was a simple, solitary act that really may not have spawned an entire movement, but it symbolized and crystallized for a lot of people what one person can do. And I think it's really the essence of activism. I don't do nearly as much as I should. I have the usual excuses everyone has. But you just do what you can, whether it's email someone, maybe do some precinct walking, answer some phone calls, make some phone calls, join your local club, sign up for MoveOn.org, and when an issue comes up that interests you and they're doing another one of these, instead of just signing up for one, offer to host one. It was very, very rewarding. I'm kind of amazed at how it went, and you know, right now I would say it spurs me to do more. Tomorrow I'll probably say, but I didn't get my work done today. It's really, democracy is a very amazing thing in concept. It's very flawed in action, just like all theories are. It's one of the better constructs out there. An issue, though, is that it's extremely fragile, and if we don't participate in it, it effectively ceases to exist. And too many of us have not participated for a long time, and I would really urge anyone who sees this tape or is spurred by someone else to act, at the minimum, vote. But beyond that, you know, make sure that your voice is heard. Let your congressmen, your senators know that what they do matter to you, whether it's pro or con, things you believe in. Support some of the internet organizations are very, very amazing, very useful tool, I think, for connecting. I didn't know all these people before tonight. You know, I must have met 75 like-minded people today, and it, in a very, very sad, difficult world right now, it does give you some hope. And I've said enough.
Excellent. You've been great.